IVM.
So it's been another great week at IVM Podcast, and if you aren't following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the major social media networks. This week on the Pragati Podcast, Pawan and Hamsini talked to economist Anupam Manur about how India is tackling creating new jobs. On the Pulyabazi show, tune into part 2 of Pranay's interview with China expert Manoj Keval Ramani. On Simplified in a Shorty, Shrikesh, Chuck and Naren give interesting tidbits about the qualifying round of the 2018 World Cup. On Cyrus Says this week, Cyrus has a conversation with friend of the network Vivek Kaul about the economy. On Who's Your Mommy, Veda and her friends discuss the strange and disturbing questions they've been asked by their kids. On Keeping It Queer, Naveen talks to non-binary Instagram sensation Diane Rebello. On Varta Lab last week, Akash and Naveen exchanged some hilarious stories with Balraj Ghai, owner of the Hotel Intercontinental and The Habitat. And with that, let me get you on to your shows.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome back. I would say not welcome. We are back after a break of a week. It feels good to be back in the studio, but doesn't feel to be good alone. Chiranjeev is with me on the call, and we've got topics to talk about which will interest the Indian football fan in you. I will not agree to that totally. You will get to know once we start talking about it. Yes, but there is something very interesting that's coming up that we'll keep in the later half of the show. That's a special surprise. Some of you already know about it. It's an interview with Antonio German that's coming up. That is all on the second half. But in the first half, Chiranjeev, the World Cup fever is on. Has the bug hit you?
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? I was watching Japan-Senegal and I went crazy. Towards the end of the game, I was like cheering and yelling at the TV. I have never done that for Japan. Like, I don't have a hashtag Meri Dusri country. I don't buy that, but I've always been a Brazil supporter. But this World Cup seems like every game can go anyway. Like England, butchered Panama, that was something else. But so many underdogs have been performing above expectations, and even if they lose or they just hold the other team to a draw, it's just so great to see. And that's what you want from a World Cup. It's not like some of those times that we have had with too many European teams playing conservative football. This is more attacking, this is more expansive, this is more like it. This is what you want to see from a World Cup. Attacking, brave football. And you can't really be the champion of the world if you're not brave in your approach to the game. So this is like crescendo from the very get-go.
Yeah, talking about underdogs, and we've seen so many teams playing in the World Cup for the first time. Not just being a part of the 32 teams, they've made their presence felt. If not, the scoreline doesn't reflect it, but we've seen how they performed, and even scoring a goal at the World Cup is a huge achievement for them. And we saw how the Panama fans went really just.
It reminded me of us celebrating that goal in Under-17 World Cup.
Oh, yes.
We forgot everything else for those couple of minutes.
That is the shortest celebration that India could have, and probably that will haunt them for a long, long time. Yes, but we can always be hopeful. It's 32 teams this time in the World Cup. It might go to 48, and that's always a hope that India will be at the World Cup. Chiranjeev.
Exactly, dude. About the 48 teams. Exactly what somebody told me on a football forum or something. We were having a chat and said जब 48 teams आ जाएगा, there will be 8 teams from Asia and all that stuff, and we will have a chance. And so I just went to the ranking tables and took a look at the rankings in Asia. Even if you just FIFA ranking is bullshit, whatever, but just you look at the team and you look at the name of the country and you know whether we are at par with them, right? And we are not in top 20, man. We're not nowhere near. We're probably 22nd or 23rd in terms of actual competitive quality. Even if we are above some other countries in terms of rankings, we're not anywhere near top 22. I would say, but so top 8 is a very far away, man. We had some really big and powerful and rich and well facilitated countries to beat if we are going to get there. It's not very easy even if we have an expanded World Cup.
Yeah. Talking about India being at the top level, I think we've got some work to do over there. And as of now,
पहले एक league कर लेते हैं. Like first sort out the domestic league situation, sort out the clubs, like get proper licensing. Then we build players, and then we get to the World Cup. बहुत लंबा रास्ता है अभी.
Yes. We've got 2 leagues expanded. Indian football is on the expansion, but we know what the reality is. 2 leagues running simultaneously. It's not a matter of pride there. It's something that's concerning, and it might be very concerning if that does not happen any soon. That we do see one league and the rules of the AFC and FIFA being followed. Hopefully. We are on track to play a World Cup probably another 20 years down the line. Yes, and on that note, I will come to the topic which I was talking about, which may not interest everybody, but then we do have to talk about it. It's Kolkata football. They are back in action.
Oh my goodness.
And talking about 2 leagues, ISL and the I-League running simultaneously for the very first time last season. We are heading into another season where a lot of transfers being happening. But also what's happening is a lot of ruckus being created at the Kolkata Maidan. And Chiranjit, you are the guy who will explain to us if there is any meaning to this, if there is any sense that's happening. Are we going to see something meaningful happening for the 2 big clubs in Kolkata right now who are aiming to be in the mainstream of football? I'm talking about mainstream. Yes.
Well, you mean the IMG Reliance stream. I mean, there is the Indian football stream and there is the IMG Reliance stream, and the Indian football stream is being gobbled up by IMG Reliance stream, and then that's going to be the mainstream. So I guess the big question is, like, last few days there was this new rumor that was started and that said that East Bengal may play in ISL this season. Like 2018-19.
So the May has happened for over 3 seasons.
Yeah, I know that. But like it really only became a actual possibility last year, where they were actually in negotiations, and that fell through for various reasons. We have actually, like, go back to our previous episodes. Like, there have been excruciating, detailed discussions of what happened and what went down. But this time it seems like they are in talks with a big corporation, and similar offers are there for Mohun Bagan as well. So both East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, since last year itself, have offers on their table, which allows them to raise the money to get into ISL. And the caveat is that they have to hand over like 74% or around 70% shares in the club to the whoever is sponsoring them, because itna paisa dalega, like you're talking about 30 to 40 crores a year, wo kuch matlab fukat ka to nahi dalega na, they need something in return. So they will have those they need to be given those shares, and majority of East Bengal and Mohun Bagan fans want that to happen. They wanted it to happen last year, but there are some in both clubs who don't want to give away control, because that means that all the under the table faida they were taking from these 2 clubs, be it corrupt, be it just social currency that were extracting from their association with these institutions, that will stop. And East Bengal and Mohun Bagan would have to change their management structure to be more professional, to be more like ISL clubs, and have a CEO and all that stuff. And that means, like, a lot of people who have been just holding on to power for a while, they know they are incompetent and they cannot operate in a structure like that. They will be booted out of the club. They will have zero power left. So that's why you see all this drama. But the thing is, the next expansion of ISL is scheduled at 2019 summer, which is next year. And I don't know if they can find a way to get around it. It would be good, but I am not very optimistic that it can happen this year. But what we know, like what common sense tells us, that both these clubs have to change. Both these clubs have to welcome the sponsorship from big corporations and hand over control to professionals if they are to really do well. Because these guys have made a mess. I mean, you saw what happened at Mohun Bagan, right? At the annual general meeting. Kya tamasha hua in front of everybody. The thing was live streamed to the all Indian footballs. And we had squabblings, we had pushing, shoving, punching, people crying on stage. What was that? It was bizarre. Just a spectacle of failure. That's what it was. And how incompetent the officials were. It's a bit complicated. I will get into this in a column that I will write on thefangarage.com. Probably later this evening or early tomorrow it will go up. Lots of complicated issues to discuss here, but it just shows you how unprofessional this is. You would never see this in a professional club that are snatching mics from each other or shoving each other, or this passive aggressive behavior towards each other. The one guy's chair is removed from the dais so he can't sit over there. It's laughable, basically. I mean, I don't know whether I should laugh or cry looking at this. Kya kar rahe ho, yaar? You're at one of the biggest turning points in the history of the club that has been around for more than a century, and you are behaving like teenagers or like pre-teen kids who are just, तेरी मेरी कट्टी, मैं तेरे से बात नहीं करेगा, मैं तेरे धक्का देके निकाल देगा, मैं इधर बैठेगा. It's like kids arguing over where they're going to sit in a class.
Yeah.
So it's like, kya bolega, man? It's exhausting. So many years of just looking at these people just mess it all up, and they're still doing it. Just when is this going to end? So
I think this is just keeping the interested people glued to their whatever, their television sets or TV screen or even the.
That's what you want to say. Like, look, the people want to invest big amounts of money in your club, and what you show on TV, you are just fighting stage in public like that. You can't behave yourself. You can't, you're having petty arguments over who's the chair of the assembly, and you're just trying to backstab each other. And all this is, why is this happening? All because of ISL. If had ISL not come in, none of these changes would have been initiated. And why is this happening? Because they know they have to allow a corporate to control the club. So the majority shares would go to that corporation or whatever it is. And whatever is left, 20-30% shares, those will be controlled by whoever is in power at the club. Right? And going down, let's say 20 years down the line, or 25 years or 30 years down the line, when India has qualified for the World Cup and Indian football has grown to 4 times the size it is now, a share in a club like East Bengal and Mohun Bagan will be worth more than gold. And that's what they're fighting for. Those guys are fighting to get a drop of that gold for themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's petty personal interest. None of they don't seem to be thinking about the club. Especially the Arjun Mitra faction at Mohun Bagan. All that they're trying to do is boot out the Tutu who led faction from power and win the next club elections and just keep those shares for themselves. It's all about 20-30% shares of the club. That's what it comes down to, and they're just after money for themselves. So that's what it is. They're just fighting with each other for money.
Yes.
Not for Indian football, not for the club, but for money for their own pockets. Right. That's what it is.
Right. And there we have it. Kolkata clubs at their best and what they do, what they have been doing over the years. Hopefully we get some resolve over there. And on that note, we will head on to a break. And on the other side, there's something promising that's coming up, something that I'm really looking forward to. It's the interview with Antonio German, Kerala Blasters winger striker. He's also been, always loving back to come to Kochi, and
He's now in Gokulam Kerala.
Yes, and I know just something that's waiting for all the fans to get them by surprise. The Kerala man is back again, and he's got an illustrious career at England where he's played. He's born. He's an English footballer, and here he's back playing at India. And this is going to be interesting. So all that on the other side of this break. Come back to us.
Why don't we talk about mental illness? For that matter, we don't even talk about emotional wellness. And if we can't talk about either of these basic, very basic aspects of being human, what do we do when we just feel like something's not right?
Hi, I'm Zain.
And I'm Avanti.
And this is Marbles Lost and Found, a show where we invite conversations about mental health and illness and just get people to talk about it, because it's okay to do so. Catch Marbles Lost and Found every Tuesday on the IVM app, website, or anywhere you get your podcasts from.
All right, welcome back after the break. As we promised, this half is going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to this. Chiranjeet was in conversation with Antonio German, who was not in India right now, but then he will be back and he'll be loved by the fans in Kerala. But he will not be with his team that he played a couple of seasons ago. So this time he plans to move into the I-League, the top division of India. And
I don't know, man. I'm sincerely laughing at that thing. Like, is it really top division anymore? Like, who the hell knows?
No,
on paper it is.
On paper it is, and we'll talk about things that are facts. And there we have it. Chiranjeet, you had a word with Antonio German. He really is a fun guy to talk with. And what do we have it as in this interview coming up?
Yeah, well, what struck out is how much he really loves the Kochi crowd. That's what he said. Playing in Kerala Blasters, playing the home games in Kochi, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in front of so many fans. He kept saying that's the best experience of my playing career. I want to do it again. So that's what he wants. He wants to go and play in front of so many people in Kochi again. I mean, he's not playing for Kerala Blasters this time. He's playing for Gokulam Kerala FC. But make no mistake, it's that love for Kerala and Kerala fans that has brought him back. So I caught up with him a few days ago. He's in England right now. He will probably get here in a month or two when the season begins. The I-League is starting third week of October, by the way, but you're going to have some other cup tournaments and local leagues kicking the season off from July itself, July, August. So yeah, it's going to be a new experience for him as well. So yeah, go ahead and listen to what about we covered his entire journey in career, especially his time at Kerala Blasters and what he wants to achieve at Gokulam Kerala FC. So take a listen.
Hey Antonio, thanks for speaking to us, man. We're really glad you're coming back to India. So just to get started, could you tell our listeners how did you get into football when you were growing up?
Yo, bro. How did I get into football? So I started playing football at, maybe 10 years old. My mum used to take me to like a little training camp every day after school. And I remember just enjoying it. And then when I was 14, I went to QPR. And from there, I just never looked back. Just kept focused on football. And always wanted to play higher, always wanted to improve. And yeah, just followed my boyhood club, Arsenal. I've supported Arsenal since I knew football. So it was definitely a big step into me progressing as a footballer was my mum. It was the main thing I look forward to every single day after school. I'll never forget it. Like all the time, football. Football became my life. Like breathing, eating, sleeping, football. And yeah, that was it really.
You're an Arsenal fan just like me. That is awesome, bro. So you were at QPR, growing up through the youth ranks over there, and you got your senior club debut as well at Queen's Park Rangers. Could you share that memory with our listeners, and do you have any special memories from that first season when you were playing for the senior team?
My senior debut at QPR, I'll never forget it because I scored on my full debut. I remember it was my first start against Doncaster, and I remember playing up front with a player called Jay Simpson, and he was on loan from Arsenal, funny enough. And I remember the ball came back to me, and it was a tap-in, but I was so happy because it was my first goal on my debut, and I was so happy. I didn't know how to celebrate, so I was running around the pitch looking like an idiot. But it was the best feeling in the world. I remember I was so nervous before the game, but once you get on the pitch and you start playing, all the nerves go, and then you start to feel more comfortable, more confident. And I scored again in that game, but they disallowed it for offside, even though it wasn't offside. That was when I knew I wanted to be, I needed to, football was my life. Seriously, I remember enjoying every single moment of it. It was amazing. Any memories from that season? That season, I think there was a game that we played against Sheffield United, and I remember I came off the bench for 10 minutes and I almost scored 3 goals, but I got man of the match for that cameo in 10 minutes. It was probably one of my best 10 minutes I've ever played. It was really good. We was losing 3-0 and we came back to 3-2. But yeah, man, QPR was always the best time of my career. I was young, hungry, it was the best. But I'm still hungry. I'm still ready. I still got things to prove. Still got goals to hit. So hopefully I can come and do it again in India.
So after that, you had a little bit of tough time. You were going on loan spells at clubs like Aldershot, Southern Yeovil, and until then you had been playing mostly around London. So now you were going at different locations, playing at different leagues and levels. How did you adjust to that life?
I wouldn't call it a tough time. It's one of them things as a footballer you have to go through, going on loan. It's a new experience basically. And I think it makes you stronger, playing men's football instead of youth team football, if that makes sense. I feel like when I went on loan with all these teams, it taught me stuff. It was tough because sometimes you go and even if you was the best player, you wouldn't play because the manager had his favourites. But, it's one of them things that you have to deal with. And life after QPR was good. If I didn't leave QPR, I wouldn't have come India. And obviously coming to India was one of my best experiences in life in general. It's unreal. I mean, you grew up and played mostly near London until then. Yeah, obviously traveling is a big part of football. So I'm kind of used to it now. I don't really mind being away from home. That's why I come India, I don't really get homesick, but at the same time, I'm a family guy. But at the same time, I don't really get homesick, so it's a bit weird. I just enjoy football, and wherever I can play football, I'm happy. It's one of them.
So you were playing in England mostly throughout your career, and then comes this offer from faraway India. Kerala Blasters offered you a chance to play for them in the Indian Super League. How did you think about that move? When what did you think when it first came to you, and how did the transfer come about, basically?
I was playing at a team called Gillingham. And my manager there was Peter Taylor. And Peter Taylor came out to be the first manager of Kerala Blasters. And when he came out, he gave me a call and asked me if I wanted to go out. And at first I was like, India, I don't think so. And then he explained to me how it works. He explained to me what it's like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a try. And it's sick. It's unreal. I love it. I literally love it. And at the beginning, obviously, the season was only 4 months, but now it's gone up to 10. So it's a longer time. But yeah, we'll see, We'll we'll see what happens. I think it was one of my best decisions, career decisions in life, like experience-wise. It's unreal. And I'm happy I came to India. And I think the fans are unreal. The fans are amazing, literally. The best in the world. It's mad. And hopefully this season we can repay them.
Awesome. So here you are, in India, a new continent, a new country for the first time. And in your first game at home, you're walking out in front of that Kochi crowd. Could you share with us that feeling when you saw that crowd for the first time and how it inspired you to play?
The Kochi crowd is unreal. I mean, people was telling me beforehand how good it was, but you never really know how good it is until you actually see it for yourself, and it's actually unreal. Like, the fans are crazy. Like, they're packed in the stadium 2 hours before kickoff. They're waiting outside. They greet you with love, with everything. They treat you so good. They're passionate about the football. They support you no matter what. As I said, it's the best in the world. It really is. And there's no other experience like it. Like, until you've played at Kochi Stadium, then you don't know football. Fans-wise, I mean, it's unreal. It's actually unreal. And I look forward to playing there again, hopefully someday.
Your first season at KBFC was a little bit special. You scored 6 goals for them that season. I think till date, that's the most goals you've scored in a season in your senior career. What was the best memory from that year?
Yeah, that was a crazy year for me because I missed the first 7 games with injury. And I knew that I needed to come back and do something because obviously the fans didn't even know me. They didn't know who I am or anything because I was injured for the first six or 7 games. And when I came back and I scored 2 on my debut, that was amazing. And then I just scored every game since then. And that was, I don't know, it was crazy. It was like I was playing, I just felt confident. I felt happy. I was enjoying my football. But the only problem was that we wasn't in a position where we could make the semi-finals at that point. Like, the first 7 games wasn't the greatest for us, but it's an amazing feeling to score in front of the Kochi crowd, and hopefully it will happen again sometimes.
So right after playing at KBFC, you moved to Patrick Thistle, Scottish Premiership club. Was there a big jump in quality, and how did you go about adjusting your level of play and the different needs in terms of fitness and agility and teammanship that was required of you over there?
Yeah, Partick Thistle was a good team. They worked hard. Scottish Premiership is tough, like, everyone's big, strong, fast. Like, it's more physical than India. Like, India's more football, but Scottish is more ball in the air, header in, all that stuff. And I enjoyed it because it was a new experience, but I didn't really play it that much because obviously the manager didn't really. I don't know. It was a weird one, but I enjoy every new experience, and it was good. It was good while it lasted, but obviously I enjoy India much better. At the ISL, definitely. Even facility-wise, the stadiums in the ISL are unreal. But yeah, that's about it.
So you came back to KBFC after that, and the season wasn't that great, so to speak. You didn't score a goal next time, got less starts. What went wrong, man?
I don't think I didn't have a great season. I thought I played well in every single game that I played that season, honestly, but I just couldn't find the net. But I thought I played well. And the team was winning, we was winning. So it's not where I didn't have a great season. It's just that I couldn't find the net. Like, every shot I'd have, the keeper would save it, or like, it was really stressful, actually. It was annoying because I was playing well. I didn't think I was playing bad at all. Obviously, the manager would have different views, but the manager, he just didn't, I don't know, I guess he just didn't want to play me, it's just, and you just have to respect that and just continue to work harder, and in the future you'll get your chance. It's just one of them.
Well, you said you have points to prove and goals to achieve. Now you are back in India. You're playing for another club from Kerala, Gokulam Kerala FC. How did the transfer came about? What are your goals now that you're back in Kerala? And how are the fans reacting to you? You know, you've been a popular figure among Kerala fans. Now KBFC fans are looking at you playing for a local rival. I mean, they play each other in Kerala Premier League. How the fans have been reacting to you on social media and otherwise, and what do you say to them now that you are starting a new chapter in your career again in Kerala?
I'm not quite sure how the move happened. My agent said that a team in India was interested, and once he mentioned India, I was definitely excited about coming back to India. I-League or ISL, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to play football, I want to score goals, and I want to pay back the fans. It's back in Kerala. I know it's not the same as Kerala Blasters, but it's still in Kerala, and the fans are loyal. Like, I love the fans so much. They look after me. They treat me so good. They're always supportive, and no matter what team it is, I'm sure even if it was another team in India, they would still be happy. The fans, they've shown me so much support. Like, I get messages every single day from them about when am I coming back to India? Can I give them boots, shirts, stuff like that? They're the best. They are actually the best, and I'm grateful to have, and I'm humbled to have them. Honestly, on social media, they follow me, they like my pictures. Literally, they're the best. It's crazy. I've got goals. I've got a lot of goals to prove, you know. Not that I've got to prove myself, but I want to score goals. I want to help the team win the league. I want to be top goal scorer in the league. I want to show everyone what I can do. You know, I just want to be the best that I can be, you know. It's one of them ones. I really want to be the best I can be. And what I want to say to the fans is keep supporting the team, keep supporting me, and thank you. You know, I can only say thank you, and hopefully it continues, and hopefully I can pay back the fans. That's about it, bro.
All right, that's Antonio German, ladies and gentlemen. He's back in India, a new phase in his career. He's playing for Gokulam Kerala FC, and he says he can't wait to get back in front of the Kochi crowd. Hopefully you get your chance to fulfill your wishes and all your goals. Antonio, thanks for speaking to us.
All right, that was Antonio German for you, Chiranjit. You must have been lucky to talk to him, and hopefully we get to see the same Antonio German at his best in front of the leading the attack for Gokulam Kerala this time. And on that note, we will end the show, and this has been a great time just coming back to the studio and talking about Indian football, even though the season is off at the moment, but the World Cup is on, and football should never stop. Hopefully we see India and we talk about it on the show sometime soon. And that's it, guys. If you're listening to us on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe. You can also download the IVM Podcast app, which is filled up with so many good podcasts, just like the TFG podcast. And the podcast is also available on Android, iOS, and any of your favorite platforms. Do give us a listen. Do give us a follow on Twitter. @TFG Football is the handle that you want to follow for all the latest footballing news. And the interview with Antonio German is also available as an article, which is already up on the website. You can check the description. We have the link there. Till another episode, guys. Take care. Cheers.
There she stands, a podcast addict. Outside the bank, having travelled several miles to get in with other poor souls like her. The journey, though daunting for this youngling, will have some comfort because she has downloaded her favourite podcast. You can see more of her species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.